discrete random variable, continuous random variable, this density function, probability mass function. Now we take some review of this discrete random variable. So I think we have already known what is this random variable, if you remember. Like if you have a sample space, you are assigning some real number to each and every outcome of the sample space. And the way you are doing this is known as the random variable. A random variable x is a function from the sample space to the real number. For example, you have a coin and you tossed it 5 times. After tossing 5 times, you assign, like if certain outcome is there, you say if there are whatever number of heads are available in that particular outcome, you say that is the value of uh, that is the value assigned by the random variable x to the event. For example, this is having 5 heads, so we will assign 5 as a number to this. This is having 0 head, so we will assign 0 to it. So like this Rx represents the range of the random variable capital X. Okay. As I told you earlier, discrete random variable is the one which take generally random variables are of three kinds. One is discrete, another one is continuous, and another one is like this next random variable. So in discrete, if the range set is countable, then it's called a discrete random variable. So suppose if you have a discrete random variable x, and if its range set, that is range set you mean capital R suffix capital X, is countable. And you know that what we mean by countable set, like set of natural numbers, set of integers, set of rational numbers are countable. All finite sets are countable. Thus, any interval of this kind is not countable, even though set of real numbers is also not countable. So, if the range set of the random variable capital X is finite or countable, then we say it's a discrete kind of random variable. Then we discussed about what is a probability mass function. So, like we have already, I told you that this if x is a discrete random variable, it means its range set Rx is a countable set, and being countable set, we can enlist the number. Oh, sorry, the elements of the Rx like this. And then, if you remember, I also defined the event like this. If you remember, in this bracket, this highlighted bracket, curly braces x equal to xk. What we mean by this event is actually this one. All the sample points small x belongs to the sample space capital S, such that x of s equals to xk. So we have to consider those sample points from the sample space for which their x value is equals to this particular xk. Then this set is called a event. And then we have this less than equal to, and other kind of events are also there. We already discussed this one. So the probability of this event for the discrete kind of random variable is known as the probability mass function. So this is the statement. The probability of the event is formally known as probability mass function of the random variable capital X. So here x is a discrete random variable with range set like this. Either this set is finite or countably infinite. Countably infinite like set of real number, integers, or rational numbers. So somewhere we have defined this probability, or like here he is not written this event using this curly braces. So you have to take care of this. Like if even he has not used this curly braces, but we mean by that thing only. We are actually talking about the event when x random variable is equal to xk, mean that is all sample points from the sample space such that x of small s is equal to xk. So if something like this you found, that means it actually we are talking about this event only. Or like this also. For the case of discrete random variable, like if I write px, this is a notation we use to represent the probability mass function. So p suffix capital X, because we are having the variable capital X and we want to know the probability of the random variable when x capital X is taking some real number xk. And this example we have already discussed, like we have a tossing of two coins that we are, this is the output, and the random variable X is defined such that number of heads in the output like 0, 1, 2, and then we assign this probability mass function, that is Px of k, because here xk is actually k. Like now if you if I define xk equal to k and k is moving from 0, 1, 2. So here this instead of xk I am having k because I defined my x suffix k is equal to k. And for k equal to 0, 1, 2, 3. And then I calculate the probability for k equal to 0. It means probability that x equal to 0. X equal to 0, it means I have to take those sample points for which x of s is equal to 0, and we know that this is the only sample point for which x of s is 0, and the probability of this sample point is 1 by 4. Again px of 1, x1, that is I have to take those sample points for which x of s is equal to 1, and I know that there are two sample points ht and th, and they are also like mutually exclusive events, so their probability actually the sum of their probability, so we will get 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4 like this, and for x equal to 2 like this. So this part actually known as this whole is known as our probability mass function for this kind of experiment, and this is our range space. So this is also notation to represent the probability mass function p capital X in suffix, to represent that we are talking about the random variable capital X and we want to know the probability at xk. In particular here we defined xk as k. Now I already obtained the values so of px k for three values of k. So now I want to plot these values. So like this, for x equal to 0, because I am in my notebook taking line real line as a vertical line. For this book they have taken real line as a horizontal line, and a horizontal line we are taking three values of x. One is 0, another one is 1, and third one is 2. And we know that for when x is equal, xk or x0 equal to 0, we are having probability 1 by 4. When xk equal to 1, then we are having probability 1 by 1, and for x equal to 2, we are again having probability 1 by 4. So this is the graph of the probability mass function. Here this is the probability mass function. You can see that p suffix capital X in bracket x, and these are the real line. On the real line, these 3 points belongs to the range of the random variable capital X. Suppose again we are having this case, like I am having a coin which is unfair of type, and the probability of head is p, and where p is lying between 0 to 1. If probability of occurring head is p, so obviously with the probability of occurring tail, we assume that it is 1 minus p, and here we are assuming this coin is unfair, so it means I may take p equal to 1 by 4, and that is probability of occurring head I may take 1 by 4, and probability of occurring tail I may take 3 by 4. So like this I can do. Again, I define my random variable y be the total number of coin tosses. So the total number of coin tosses until I observe the head first time. So I toss the coin repeatedly until I observe the head for the first time. So this is my experiment. I toss the coin repeatedly until I observe the head for the first time. And in this experiment, I defined y, the random variable. be the total number of coin tosses. And then I told you to find its distribution function for this random variable y. So now y is the random variable over this experiment, and I have to find first its range. So if you think like I am continuously tossing coin, so maybe in first toss I will get head, maybe in second toss I will get head, or maybe I tossed like 10 times I will not get head, and in 11th time I will get head. So it means this capital Y can take any natural number as its value. So the range of the random variable Ry is a natural number. Like in first toss, so here x1 is 1, x2 is 2, x3 is 3, and xn is n, and it may go until infinite. Maybe I toss infinitely times and I may not get a head. So for this kind of random variable y with the range this, I have to find its probability mass function, that is this one, pyk, and obviously here, because here x1 is 1, x2 is 2, x3 is 3. So here I have written instead of xk k, because I mapped xk to k for all k goes to 0, 1 to up to infinity. So I have to find this one. So first I try to find the probability that I will get if I will get my head in the first toss only. So if in the first toss means y equal to 1, y equal to 1 means I have only one execute only one time the toss and I will get head, and the probability of head is p, so I am having this p. Now probability of this py2 means it means first I am having tail, then only I am getting head, and these two are again independent. Probability of occurring tail in the first toss is independent of probability of occurring head in the second toss. And you know that the probability of occurring head is p, so probability of occurring tail is 1 minus p, so like this. Similarly for 3, it means first two times I am having tail and the third times I am head. So, and again these are independent. And you know that the probability of if two events are independent, then the probability of their intersection is actually the product of their probability. So here this is intersection. This is happened and this is also happened. So both are happening, but they are independent. So like this, we are having the same thing and then this. So we have obtained the probability mass function for this new random variable y. So we will write like this. Okay. So here it's like for any k, like this, it's defined like this. Sometimes if you want to write the probability in terms of the variable y, small y, like here if we are having capital Y, and I am representing the value of the random variable by small y, and I want to represent the its probability mass function for y goes to 1, 2, 3. So I know that for particular k it is this one. So if I replace k by y, I will get this one. So some author actually write the probability mass function for this experiment only this one, this equal to this one, not this zero part they will not show. They tell that if the y is taking this as a value on the real line, so for these particular values of y we have obtained its probability, and this is our probability mass function, this first line actually, so not this zero part. So because y is not taking these values,
No,
that's why we are assuming what happened. Krishnan and Jaiswal, is there any problem? Krishnan and Jaiswal, are you there?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Is there any problem?
No, sir. No, sir.
So mute your mic. Okay, here we were. So I am telling you one thing that this random discrete kind of random variable is taking only these discrete values 1, 2, 3, that is countable number of values. For these values, it has some positive number lying between 0 to 1. And since we are in the definition of random variable, we are saying na, that the random variable x is a function from the set of sample space to the real line. So what about other points on the real line? Because other points or real lines are also present there. So for specifically someone want to write, then for other points we always take 0. Whatever value of the discrete random variable is taking, for them we have some certain formula to calculate the probability at those points of the random variable capital Y. But whatever value he is not taking, like this others value like 1 by 2, y equal to 3 by 2 or root 2, for all other values whichever are not taken by this capital Y, we assume the probability is 0. But some author mentioned this and some will not, so don't confuse with this notation. Another one, this probability mass function value is always lies between 0 and 1. So this is the actually property. We say that the probability property of probability mass function and the sum of the total probability ranging this small x to all the values of Rx. Here Rx is the range set. So if we add the probability at all points of the range set, that should be 1. So these are the two conditions we use to check whether this Pxx is a probability mass function or not. Then if you have a subset of range set like A and you want to know what is the probability of x belonging to A, so it means you have to consider all the sample, so not sample, or you have to consider all the points from A that belongs to Rx such that their probability is having something. You add all them, and here we assume that the probability of at all values of the random variable are independent. Oh, sorry, mutually exclusive, not independent. So like this we can write. So for example, we have on this. So in earlier in this above example only this. So in this example, we will check whether it's satisfying the two condition of probability mass function, these two. So you will see this is the probability mass function in this particular example. We have already obtained for k ranging from 1 to 3, and we will first check whether this of total, that is if we range y over the range set of y and add all the probability, what we will get. So we know that this means actually k is ranging from 1 to infinity and this one, and then we see that this p is independent of this k, the index of the summation. So we take this p out of we can take this p out of this summation, and then what we did, we assumed like k minus 1 equal to j. If we assume k minus 1 equal to j, so when k equal to 1, j equal to 0, that is we use the substitution k minus 1 equal to j, and with that substitution I am getting j equal to 0, and when k is infinity, j is infinity, and this k minus 1 is replaced by this. And then since p is less than 1 in the given example, and 1 minus p is also less than 1, so it's a geometric series. So it's a geometric series with common ratio 1 minus p, and 1 minus p is less than 1. So the sum of this geometric series is equals to 1 upon 1 minus this, and we will get so 1. So that is total probability at all points of the random variable is sum of the probabilities at all points of the random variable y is equal to 1. Now we have another example. If p equal to 1 by 2, that in particular case we are talking in which our coin is fair. And I told you to find this probability. So you know that this is an event. And in this event, what we are saying, we are taking those sample points for which their y images are greater than equal to 2 and less than 5. And we know that for this y can be 2 also, 3 also, and 4 also, but not 5. And then we added this, and then we substitute its value. But here we have given that this p is 1 by 2, that we also we substitute. And then we write this summation explicitly, we will get this one and then this one. So this is the way we can calculate. Then independent random variable. So usually you know that if two events are independent, one more notations are occurred here, and you see this carefully. If I am writing P event A comma B, okay. So if A comma B is written there, then this comma represents the intersection. So it means probability of A intersection B. Okay. Okay, here it is explicitly written here. So you should take care of this, and in future we will also use this notation. Almost all authors are using this kind of notation. So we have to remember this. If we splitted two events by comma or two random by comma, it means that is comma is representing and. So P A intersection B is equal to PA into PB if A and B are two independent events. So like if you are having two random variables, like one is X, another one is Y, and you say that the two random variables are independent if the probability that X equal to X comma Y equal to Y. So now if you have understood the concept of event, so what is actually this event? This event is actually, we consider those sample points S for which x of S is equal to small x. Intersection with those sample points S belongs to the sample space such that y of S is equal to y. So we are taking intersection of these two events. X S belongs to small s belongs to capital S such that y of S equal to y, this event. Intersection with S belongs to capital X such that capital X of small s is equal to small x. So if these are the two events, this is one event and this is another event, okay. And you know that this event how we defined earlier, and this one is also, and now we are taking intersection of these two events. If they are independent, the random variable x and y are independent, then the probability of this event intersection with this event is equal to probability of this event into probability of this event. In more general way, like if we have two sets like this, so this is the way we define. Now we have this conditional sense. So if we are saying that one variable x is independent, that happening of y equal to y is independent of happening of x equal to x, then the conditional probability of y equal to y given that x equal to small x is actually y equal to y. It means, and this is true for all x and y. Then we say that again y is independent of x. So we have one example. I toss a coin twice and define x to be the number of heads I observed. Then I toss a coin two more times. Okay, two times. First tossed and observed my heads. So and then I again tossed the same coins two more time again and observed the number of heads, and that I represented by y. Find the probability that in first two tosses and second two tosses. So you can see now this is a event. X is less than 2. It means I am talking about those sample points for which capital X of small s is less than 2. And this is the event capital Y greater than 1. It means that we have to take those sample point S such that Y of small s is greater than 1. Okay. So we'll see this case. In this we have two toss. Here again we are having two toss. Okay. So we'll see the solution. Since x and y are result of different independent tosses, so two random variables x and y are independent. Also note that both the random variable have the same distribution that we have already observed in the example this that we have already discussed now. This one. So for 0 head 1 by 4, for 2 head we are having 1 probability, and single for 2 head we are having this 1 by half. This actually this you can say this kind of. So for two tosses of x, this sample space and another sample space same for y also. So we are having this, and since x and y are independent, the intersection of two events is actually product of these two events. And we know that x less than 2 means x. We know that in such kind of events, x can take three values 0, 1, 2. But here this x is strictly less than 2. It means 0 and 1 is taken by this. And x y is greater than 1 means only 2 can be taken by y. And for observing two heads, this probability is 1 by 4 in the tossing of two coins later. And this is the previous one. And then this is the final probability. Now, if we are having n discrete random variable, okay, like x1, x2, x3, xn, then we say that those all are independent, that is, they are mutually independent if and again this comma is intersection. You keep this thing in your mind. X1 equal to x1, one event, intersection with x2 equal to x2 is another event, intersection with all dot dot dot, intersection with xn equal to xn. So the intersection of all these events is actually probability of this event into probability of this event, probability of this event. If such thing is true for any n random variable x1, x2, xn, then we say that x1, x2, xn variables are independent. And this thing should be true for all small x1, x2, xn. So here this x1 actually variable corresponding to this random variable capital X1, and this x1 can take again real values from minus infinity to plus infinity. Similarly, for this random variable x2, we are representing random variable by x2, and this x2 is also ranging from minus infinity to plus infinity. So for all these kind of like Rn, if you say like R, like real set R1, then R into R, R2, and then R into R into R cube. So it is like n tuple from Rn. So now there are some distributions that actually required in the study of probability theory. So first one is known as Bernoulli distribution. So Bernoulli distribution is this one. A Bernoulli random variable is a random variable that can only take two possible values, 0 and 1. So it is generally used. Why we are having this kind of or special distribution? Because sometimes we know that the nature of this event is like this kind of distribution. So if we want to know the probability of some events, so we correlate that this event is actually having behavior of this kind of distribution, and we will use the probability mass function of that distribution to calculate the probability of certain event. So it means like a 0 and 1. So it means it's a distribution of like success and failure. Thus, random variable models random experiments. All random experiments that have two possible outcomes, sometimes referred to as success and failure. So, wherever you have the situation of success and failure, you can use your Bernoulli distribution. So, like you take a pass fail exam. So maybe in this subject you may pass or fail also. Okay. You either pass, so you representing your pass by real value 1 and fail is by real values 2. Then you toss a coin and you define your success as head and failure as tail. Then like if a child is born and success like something, you can say any. So like this, when we have two kind of situations, one is success and another one is failure. So we use this kind of distribution. So this is the like mathematical definition of Bernoulli distribution. And whatever situation in which this x is following Bernoulli distribution, this random variable x is known as Bernoulli random variable. So in Bernoulli random variable with parameter p, we don't know the success probability. Like maybe your fail and pass probability are different. Maybe your pass probability is 60 and fail probability is 40 by 100 and 60 by 100 like this. And so like this, we define this p, and this p is ranging from again 0 to 1. So the success probability, if you are saying this x equal to 1 is a success, then this success probability is p, x equal to 0, then its failure probability is 1 minus p. If you write only first two line of this expression, then your answer is also correct. And because these are the values are not taken by the random variable x. So sometimes this author is writing explicitly, but in Bernoulli we are having generally these two values, and for these two values we are discussing the probability that for success and failures, and we are not bothering about other values of x. So in most author you will find this p and 1 minus p. The third line you will not find. So you have to remember this definition. Like in exam, I will write like this. This is another notation you have to take care. Like x and this tilde Bernoulli p. So if I in exam, like in problem in exam, I will write x Bernoulli p. So it means you have to recall in your mind that x is following. X tilde Bernoulli p means x is following Bernoulli distribution with p as a parameter, and its probability mass function is given by this, these first two lines. So you have to remember this. So I told you that this is the problem, and this is in this problem this the random variable x is following Bernoulli p distribution, and I will not tell you this expression. So you have to use your brain or recall something, and you have to find this. So like if I want to plot the probability mass function of Bernoulli distribution with parameter p. So like if I'm assuming p is having this much value, so this is for getting 1 we are having this, and for getting mm, 0 we are having this. So you can see that there we are having like vertical lines in the case of discrete kind of random variable. If when we are plotting probability mass function with respect to the this range of the random variable. Geometric distribution is also there. So here like that, suppose I have a coin with occurring head is p. I toss the coin until I have the first head. It means until I have the first success. So this kind of distribution. So for this kind of distribution, we have already discussed that the probability of success at kth like execution of the experiment, then the probability is given by this. So this is known as the what we call this geometric distribution. So you can see that no, this line is enough for representing the probability mass function of the geometric distribution. But later, to he write the third line also. You can add, even this is also correct. But if you don't write and you write this is also taken as to be correct. Because these values are of no use to us because our random variables are not taking these values. So a random variable x is said to be geometric random variable with parameter p. It is written as like this: x tilde geometric p. F its probability mass function is given by this, where p is lying between 0 to 1, and you have to remember this. So here he is plotting this what we call probability mass function of geometric distribution for various values of p. Then others is not plotting, leave it. We are not bothering about this. We have to actually main thing is you have to remember this, okay. And then after geometric we have binomial distribution. This is actually also one of the useful distribution. So in this, like am repeating an experiment n times, and I want to know the success of r times. Out of n, how many times I will get success. So that kind of probability I want to know. If this kind of experiment is there, I will use this binomial distribution. And if you Mhm. So I toss a coin n times and define x is the total number of heads that I observe. So that is probability of occurring head is p, I am assuming, and I repeated this tossing of a coin n times, and I am observing the total number of heads I am getting. That is the total number of success I am getting. If I heads I am representing as a success. Then x is a binomial with parameter n. Earlier only there is one parameter probability. Here actually this n is also a parameter because I am repeating my experiment n times, and p is the probability of success or probability of head in this particular case. So this is the notation to represent the probability. So and this is the probability mass function of the binomial distribution. Like you are having because you have already repeated your experiment n times, and suppose you are getting in an experiment you are k times success, so this is the k times success, and this is the n minus k times failure, and this actually we are mm, repeating our experiment n times. So this can be done in any way, like first p k times I am having success, first k time I am having success, or first like from not from second to k plus 1 I am having k success. So like this, so we I have to take the combination of these terms also, n c k. So this is also a notation, n c k, that is combination of selecting k items from n items. NCK means n factorial divided by k factorial, in denominator also n minus k factorial. So this is NCK, this notation. Okay. You will find this one. Maybe some of you are aware of this, but not aware, then it is representing NCK, the combination. Okay. So this is the probability mass function of binomial distribution. The random variable x is said to be binomial random variable with parameter n and p, shown as this x binomial np. So it's a binomial NP. So you have to remember, because this is my favorite one. I will ask a question generally. Okay, from this binomial, if its probability mass function is given by this probability that x equal to k is equal to nck probability power k 1 minus p raised to power n minus k for k ranging from 0 1 to n. Okay, so this is also you have to observe, because we cannot have more than k success in the execution of n times of the random experiment. But earlier in the case of geometric, we may get success after n time also. So here this geometric distribution taking the range of the geometric random variable is set of natural number. The range of this Bernoulli random variable is only these two, 1 and 2, these two discrete finite set actually, 0 and 1. And the range of this binomial random variable is 0, 1 to n. And then he plotted this probability mass function for various values of p. For p equals to 0.3 and n equal to 10, we are having this. Again, for n equal to 20, we are having this. So these are the graph of the probability mass functions. Okay. So this theorem generally I ask when offline exam are there, but right now I don't know because we may copy also now. Okay, let this x is a binomial NP and y is a binomial MP with the two independent random variable define a new random variable this. So now I am having two random variable. X is following binomial distribution with the uh, n as a parameter and p is the probability of success. And y is also a binomial random variable with m parameter and p is the probability of success is same here. Then I have generated a new random variable that is actually x plus y. So, and then I have to find the probability mass function of this new random variable z. So here I can check that this x is taking, because if you remember the binomial random variable, this k is ranging from 0 to n. Okay, so here also this x can take values from 0 to n, and this y can take value from 0 to n. It means the new random variable z, which is actually sum of the two random variable x and y, can take values from 0 to n plus n. So we have to find that it's a distribution. Sorry, not distribution, it's probability mass function, PMF. And this is also one short form. Generally, most of the users are used to represent probability mass function, PMF. Okay, so in this, he has provided two proofs. So this is the simple one. So I am skipping this one. You can read this one. Actually, I am interested in this kind of proof. Okay, so we'll see. My target is to find the probability mass function. Probability mass function that P suffix capital Z and K is taking values from 0, 1, 2 up to m plus 1. So this is the range set of Z. Because X is taking 0 to n, Y is taking 0 to n. So its sum, that is Z, Z can take the value from 0 to m plus n. That means I have to find this. If I know this is my probability mass function, I have to calculate this for all values of k ranging from 0 to n plus n. So I may write z equal to x plus y because it is given that z is equal to x plus y equal to k. So now I use the law of total probability and we rewrite this expression because this is the probability mass function, and the definition of probability mass function that Pz of k is actually probability that x plus y equal to k. And now I condition this that probability that x plus y equal to k equal to 1 such that x equal to y in given probability of x equal to I. So here I used this total probability law, and this I is ranging from 0 to k. This one is wrong here. This n is wrong here. It should be k because if the sum of these two xn plus y is k, so this I cannot be more than k. So this should be K. You correct in your proof when you are writing notes. Maybe today's Wednesday, na? Maybe today I'll send the link and you have to upload your what we call this class notes by this Friday or Saturday, Sunday. You may also use. But one more thing that on next Wednesday I will take your text, class test one, and the syllabus whatever I cover till Tuesday, 9 February. Okay. So this is the one we are having. So I used the law of total probability. I splitted this event into this, and I is ranging from 1 to this. And here you can correct this from I equal to 0 to k. And then if here it actually x is equal to I is given, so this can be also rewritten as y equal to k minus I given x equal to xi, probability that x equal to xi. Now it is given in the question. This thing you have to take care. Why this is given? Independent. He told in the question x and y two independent random variables. So it means x and y are two independent random variables. So we will use this property here. Since this y is independent of this x, so it means the probability of the event y equal to k minus I, given that the x equal to xi is independent of this. So it means this whole, because it is given in the question x and y are independent, so this can be rewritten as equal to this one. And again this 0 to k only. And then I use the definition of because both of them are following what we call binomial distribution. So this is also binomial and this is also binomial. So we use the definition for first. I'm using for x equal to xi. So if you see the what is the definition for x equal to k? What x equal to k? The definition of binomial distribution is this one. Probability that capital X equal to k is equal to nck p raised to power k 1 minus p raised to power n minus k. Here instead of k we are having I for x. So if we are having this nci p raised to power I 1 minus p raised to power n minus I. So this is the value of this probability mass function at xi. Now this is also one probability mass function for y, and instead of I here is the variable k minus I. So wherever is I is there we replace I by k minus I. But one more thing is there for y we are having in the question for x it is actually np, but in for y we are actually it is mp. So wherever n is there we write m because we are writing probability mass function for y. So we will do like this. Earlier it is like nci p raised to power I and 1 minus p raised to power n minus I. Now it is m. Instead of n we are having m, and instead of I we are having k minus I. So we will do this. And then this mck minus I nci p raised to power k minus I is there and p raised to power I is there. So I minus I plus I is equal to 0. You are having only p raised to power k and 1 minus p raised to power m plus n, because this is n minus I and this is m minus k plus I. So I think in this power of 1 minus p this I is also cancelled out. So you are having 1 minus p raised to power m plus n minus k. Again you can see the index is ranging over I. So this term, these three terms, p raised to power, not only two terms, p raised to power k 1 minus p raised to power m plus n minus k are independent of the index I. So they can move out from this summation. So you are having this, and if you expand this summation, you will get this because this is nck minus mck minus I, and this is nci, and if you expand this and add, you will get 1 minus p raised to power, sorry, not m plus n ck. And you can see this, the process of getting this, sorry, process of getting this from this, you can find in this example. Or you can use your or like combinations formula. Or do one thing, you write this nck in explicit form and minus nci in explicit form and cancel out, and then later you are having this m plus 1 ck. If you do that, you will get this one. And here you in this proof, you have to write this I is ranging from 1 to k. So this n is actually k. So now finally after this thing, mhm, so we are getting this probability that for the mass function for z, for capital Z equal to small k is actually this one. And you can see that is actually it is look like the binomial distribution with the parameter m plus n and probability of success p. So this is the probability mass function of z. So this is the way we obtained probability mass function. Sum of the probability mass function if you are having two independent random variable of binomial kind. Then we have this negative binomial distribution. We leave this. If someone interested, he can read. But that one, the question related to this, I will not ask. Negative binomial. So you can read this. Pascal also leave. Hypergeometric leave this one. And Poisson. Binomial and Poisson. They are actually very useful and are generally asked. Binomial we also discuss, but the time is over. So I will discuss that thing later. Or you can read by yourself also, because later we have Poisson processes also. So this distribution is also independent. So you can neglect this hypergeometric distribution, this one, and this negative binomial or Pascal. These distributions are rarely used. If you have more interest in it, then you can read. But I will not ask question related to them. I will ask related to Bernoulli, binomial, Poisson, and geometric. And you can, right now I'm talking about only discrete kind of distribution. All these random variable like Poisson, you can see, even though we can read this, it's a Poisson random variable, and actually this is a limiting case of binomial distribution. You will check this later. We can leave it right now. I'm taking under attendance. Mm, mm.